Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So if you saw my last video of the haul and my finger slips on Amazon, whoops, you'd know that I'd said that we were going to start the kick-off of Colour With Me's, working through the gifts that I've had with one in here because it's a lovely simple book. Now this is Birds in the Forest by Denyse, Klette. She's the same wonderful illustrator that did, illustrator artist, that did Gnomes in the Neighbourhood, Mermaids in Paradise and Fairies in Dreamland. And they are incredible books. So let's jump in. The page I've chosen, as I said in that video, is this incredible angry bird. Poor guy, in my head, and I know I'm weird, he's been left babysitting the neighbourhood eggs. They've all gone out partying and they've left him, which is why he's got bags under his eyes and he's tired and he's well grumpy. So, what I thought we'd use today is my Artex pencils. I love these pencils. And I've got some generic alcohol markers. Now before you go, oh god, I haven't got those. If you look on Amazon, or you watch as I do this colour along, the majority of cheap alcohol markers are exactly the same. Their numbers are the same. They are just exactly the same. So these are a Daxi, but let me just grab one of these. These are the Touch alcohol markers, which you can get refills for. They're Shinhan Art Touch alcohol markers. They match with these colours. So, which is why I went for the Shinhans, because they matched my 1/68 set of these cheap markers. So don't despair if I grab colours and you don't have them. I will also be colouring over it with my Artex pencils, and the reason I do that is because I have pains in my hands and arms and there's some big spaces on here, so it will save me. So if you don't have them, don't despair, you can just use the colour combinations that I have in my pencils. But just be aware that when you're buying cheaper alcohol markers, try and have a look at the image and the colour names, because the majority of them, having done my research and looked, are exactly the same colours. So I hope that helps. This here that I've got behind is a very thick sheet of acetate, which was sold on Amazon as a blending mat. It's just very thick acetate. You can put a piece of acetate behind your page just to stop it bleeding through. They are single-sided, but I wouldn't want to ruin the little chicks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the angry little fella himself. And I've got some alcohol markers here that I'm going to start with. So for him, we are going to do, I'm going to miss out the jade green, and we're going to do these three colours. So we're going to do pale blue light, whatever that says, Mignetti, I don't know, and pale yellow. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got them here, I've got pale yellow, yeah. That weird one, 166, and pale blue. So I'm going in with this uber bright colour. Well, it's not actually, it's quite nice. I'm going to go in with pale yellow. Let's bring you in so you can see what I'm doing. And round the top here, round his face, I'm going to put the pale yellow. I'm going to be a little cautious because I don't know how the black ink will react with my alcohol markers. So I don't want to drag that in. I'm going to go round those poor little bags under his eyes and down to his wings and across his line on his tummy. So he's parrot colour inspired. So he's actually going to be blues, yellows and turquoise is what he's going to be. So I'm just going to bring that down in the shape of that little rotund tummy sticking out for the time being. Then we're going to take this colour, whatever it is, 166. Excuse me, and we're going to do these little legs that stick out. Now before you do anything over the top of any base layer of colour, you must let it dry, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. It will just pill your paper. This one's on the verge of running out, so I must go on to, if I go to, I think it's Jackson's Art that sell the touch refills. So I'm going to go on and do a refill. So we've got a little green body. Well, he's going to be turquoise. At the moment he's green. And then we're going to make his wings this pale blue. So I've already refilled this twice. I've got a refill. So easy to do. And saves you a fortune. And the environment too, because we're not throwing out plastics and rebuying materials over and over. Yeah. There we go. He's going to look a bit odd at the moment, but he won't. So because he's a he, he's having blue eyeshadow, or blue eyes. Poor little guy, look at him. I'm going to leave his bags out for a minute because I'll come to that when I've done the rest of him. I'll come to that. So we are then going to put these in one of each of the colours. So it's going to be a very tropical looking page. We're going to put the pale yellow. We're going to put the green in the centre. And because there's not so much blue, we'll have blue as the big feather on the edge. How about that? There we go. And these books are beautiful for watercolours and all sorts, but they're really good for alcohol markers because the lines are nice and thick. Okay, so which way around should we do it? We'll have a blue at the bottom here this time. So all we're doing is using the same colour combos, but just changing it up. There we go. Then we're going to have green at the top. Well, we'll keep the light yellow in the middle. You can tell when they're starting to run out because they get that squeaky sound. There you go. And yellow in the middle. Okay. There we go. Alright, so we have to make sure that he is completely dry before we do anything more. So, let me see, did I get, yes, we did, okay. We can do the leaves. So this is the leaves colour. I'm going to do those in what's called dim green, which is 173. Let's just pick one. I'm going to go switch to my big side because these are chunky leaves. So this dim green is more of a yellow, but I want that undertone of yellow because we're going to have, it's going to be bright and tropical. So I've done another page and I've used the same colours, well similar colours, and it just looks so happy and vibrant. So that's what I want to go for. So we're going to stick with that. Okay, so just using this dim green. See how quickly it speeds that page up, just making sure I'm moving my plastic. Not that I want my pages to speed up, but if you suffer with pain, and under a base coat of colour really helps. Okay, there we go. So, I'm going to go off camera for a second. I'm going to colour in all those leaves. He'll be dry and then we can meet back up and we'll start with our pencil work. Alright folks, see you in a sec. Okay, we're all done and dry. So, let's go in with our colours. So, if we start with the green, that might bring him alive a bit. Bring him alive a bit even. Okay, so I've got jade blue, parrot green and light aqua. That's the colours that we're going to be using for this little guy. Okay, I need to make sure that I've got the right colour combo and I do it in the right order. I keep messing up and getting the darkest in the wrong place and all sorts. So anyway, so we're going to take jade blue and I'm going to put that where I want the darkest bits. So covering up that alcohol marker, which is now dry. You have to give it a bit of time because this paper is really thick. So I'm going to put this jade blue up here. I'm going to leave this bit lightest and then just sort of lighten it off. Then we're going to go a little lighter with our parrot green, and I'm going to backtrack over that jade blue and bring out that parrot green. There we go. A lot less work than if I'd have done it without any colour under it. And then our light aqua. And we can just, I can just lightly, can you see, is my thumb in the way as usual. We can just lightly go over that. And then we'll go back in. So, our jade blue. Then our parrot green, make sure we've got enough of that. And then we just leave it a little paler at the top of his little leg. There we go, like that. And then we'll reblend with the light aqua. There we go, make sure he's nice and smoothed out. Let's do the other side. So we're going to go in with jade blue, making sure I've got the right one. Can you see? Yeah. I'll try and keep my hands out of the way. It's not always easy with pain, but I will do my best. There we go. And then our next one, which is parrot green. Backtrack over that dark. And then it just makes me laugh. Look at him. He looks so fed up, doesn't he? That poor guy's been left with all these babies. What if they hatch? I hope he knows what he's doing. Okay, so then we've got his little legs. Let's do his tummy because that's going to be green. So we're going to take the jade blue and I'm going to come in round here. And what I'm hoping to do is kind of blend the jade meets the yellows that we're going to use. So we're going to put this jade green in here. Feather it out a little bit, excuse the pun. Let's bring it up here, there we go. Then we're going to go in with our parrot green. Just checking. Let's get that in. I'm going to go over it just lightly to start with. Bring that up a little bit further there. And make sure I've got enough of the parrot green because that's the gorgeous brightness. So, and I will go back over it and kind of keep that arch. Okay, let's go in with our light aqua now. So we'll backtrack over that. And we'll bring that out. We can lessen it off when we go in to meet that yellow. Okay, right, now we've got a kind of map of our colours. Let's go in and deepen that up and colour it properly. So, jade blue. Nice and deep, let's get that colour in there. Got to remember to try and keep that sort of archway. So he's got a little, nice little rotund belly. Look at his expression. And the more colour you put on these images, the funnier I think they become. He's just hilarious. I was drawn to him as soon as I opened the book. It was like, look at him. He's so fed up. Makes you feel like, okay, my life's not that bad. Okay, when we're focusing on other things and I'm not sort of talking you through the colouring, I might sort of update you on life events if I can. Okay. And now our parrot, sorry, our light aqua, that was parrot green. We're going with our light aqua now. We'll kind of bring that up here. We'll really get that colour in. See, that just doing that was making my arm ache. But a whole lot better than if I'd not had a base colour underneath. Okay, lighten it out. Go back over. Make sure I get the right order. Parrot green. That really is our vibrancy, you know, the one that gives us the vibrant colour there. Sorry folks, I'm having to go back to the thumb grip that I call it. Okay. See what I mean, like that? It's just natural. As soon as my hands start hurting, I'm sorry if it gets in the way, but what can you do, folks? What can you do? There we go. I'm going to keep going because he's looking a bit rough. Okay. Excuse me. And then our jade, just to fill that in. There we go. It's smoothing out now. A little bit up there. Just leave a little bit of that yellowish colour poking through. Okay, let's move on for a minute. Give my hands a rest. We want the yellows. So these are the yellows I've got. Sand, sunburst yellow, chromium yellow and light yellow. So I'm just taking my cardigan off, or my dressing gown. Boiling. Alright, now I have to be careful that I get these in the right order as well. Where's my... okay. Hang on. I'm missing one. I've got chromium. I've got light yellow. I've got sand. So where's my sunburst yellow? Is that it? Yes, there we go. So I've got our 4 colours. Now, these two, I'm going to, this one particular, I'm going to be quite sparing with. It's going to be our shadow colour. So but you have to be careful, look, because sunburst yellow, which is lighter, the pencil colour is lighter on sand, and yet sand is darker, so you have to be quite cautious. Okay, so where I want shadow, so I'm going in with sand, and I'm going to put a little bit in round here. See, that's quite dark compared to the yellow colour, but we're going in behind his beak, and in there, around those eyes. That's where I want my shadow. Then we're going to switch and go in with our sunburst yellow. That will just give us a little transition between the brighter colours that we're going to use. Around the top of his head. There we go. And we will bring that down here to meet that. And down there. Okay, let's put some bags under his eyes, shall we? So we go back in with the sand and under his beak. Let's just emphasise those poor bags, poor little dude. No Friday, Saturday night for this little fella. There we go. Back in with our sunburst yellow, so our second colour. There we go. Just a little bit. We don't need too much. And then our chromium yellow. So we'll get an orangey hue in the deeper spots, and then we're going to use our light yellow just to smush and blend. There we go. He might be fed up, but he still needs to look tropical. Okay, and then our gorgeous light yellow. I love this pencil, I use it loads. So let's go in with that. I did go over the black with my alcohol markers and it didn't run. I didn't scrub it, but the ink didn't run. They are really sort of quality books, these Denyse Klette books. So I'm just going in with that light yellow over all of that to pull it all together. And then I'm going to give a little bit of that yellow in that gap that we left there, just so he sort of all smushes and blends together. Look at that. There we go. There we are. Isn't he hilarious? So that's our yellows. Now we've got to do our blues. So these are the blue colours that we've got. I've got quite a lot, so I might work backwards on this one. I don't know. Let's see. Right, let's do his eyes. Let's bring those little fed up eyes to light. So I've got Copenhagen blue, which is going to be my darkest. Ocean blue, true blue, deep sky blue, and pastel blue. Now, that's because we might change up combos for these, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm going in with my Copenhagen blue for his eye. There we go. And then we're going to use ocean blue. Just a little bit because we've got quite a lot to get in there. And then we're going to use true blue, if I can find the right one. Is that true blue? Yeah, true blue. So we get lighter as we get towards the top. And I might just leave it like that. And blend that into that alcohol marker. If you don't have the alcohol marker, it will still do the same. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that so he's nice and dark. So back in with our, let's move those out of the way for a minute. Copenhagen blue. Do dark in the corner and up round his eyelashes. Then we'll go in with our ocean blue. There we are. And then we'll bring in that beautiful true blue and blend that in. Oh my god, he's hilarious. I love it. Look at that. So cool. Right, we need to look at his feathers. Lucy, come on. Pull yourself together now. Okay. Now, I'm just trying to think. Let's do this combo on the bottom. So, Copenhagen blue. And we'll put them, because this is underneath those feathers, we'll put that down that side. Like that. We'll do the same up here. And here. And here. Okay. And then ocean blue, we'll go over that. And down there. And then our true blue. And then we'll stick in that deep sky blue just on that edge. We'll lift him and brighten him up a bit. There we go. We can use the full combination when we do the feathers, so there we go. Right, I'm just going to go back in and feather that out a little bit. Fill in where I didn't get to. Okay. This is your fiddle and faff time. When you've put your initial layer down, then you can go back in and make sure your blends look okay. So, fiddle and faff time. Okay, and our last colour. There we go. Alright, we're going to use that combination for the rest of his feathers too. I'm just going to sharpen that deep sky blue. Alright, so we are going to do, let's start at the top here. So under here we'll use the Copenhagen blue, which is a beautiful colour. We'll just pick out where the feathers fall underneath. There, like that. And then we go in with our next colour, which is ocean blue. You get the drift. Excuse me, can't clear my throat. And then true blue. Yeah. I do love these pencils. They're just a dream to work with. And then a little bit of our true blue. There we go. Right, we're going to lessen that off. We're not going to use the Copenhagen blue on this one. We're going to go in with ocean blue to go in between there and bring that up. And then our true blue, just because they're not behind anything. And then our deep sky blue. There we go. We can bring that up and make that green there. Oh, I'm sorry. Right, let's do his tail feather. Okay, Copenhagen blue for round here, because that's behind the other ones. So we'll make that dark. And we'll go in and put some detailing on with Posca afterwards. Okay, then we go in with our ocean blue. We can use our full array of colours now. I'm going to use these two dark ones for where it's deepest. Like that. Then our true blue. Start to bring that up. Okay, now we can use our two lighter ones. So I'm now going in with deep sky blue, and I'm going to bring that in on the bottom of his feather. Like that. And then we'll use a little bit of the pastel blue just at the top. And we'll pull those colours together. There we are. Oh, he's so cute. So darn cute. Okay, so if we go back to our yellows, let's do this feather together. Where did I put them? Here. So, sand. Where do we find sand? I think that's it. Yeah, sand. So we'll find our darkest bit, which is going to be, I'm going to put it at the bottom of this feather. And bring that up. Trying to avoid that blue, I don't want to drag it in. I should have done the yellow first. Okay, sunburst yellow, I'll bring that out. So I backtrack over the colour I've already put down, bring that out. And then we'll start to go in with our chromium yellow. And then we'll take the gorgeous light yellow and go over that. There we are. Okay, so we can afford then to, I'm just going to go over the whole thing to blend it. There we are. Yellow feather. And then we're going to do our jade green feather. So we're going to have jade blue, and that is going to run up here because it's coming up underneath this feather, this yellow one. Whoa! It's always a joy when your hands spasm, folks, always. And they always do it at a critical time. like when you're running a fine line of white over black, or trying to get stickles to go in a straight line. Yes, it's always a pleasure. But you have to laugh at these things, folks. You do. It's the cards we were dealt, so we just play with them. Alright, parrot green. And then our light aqua. Okay, can go back in and deal with any scruffiness. There we go. Our parrot green. Let's get that really in there. That's it. Alright, so we will do the same combo here. So I'm going to do yellow, green and blue for that. Okay, let's have a look at these leaves. Where are my... Here it is. Okay, so we did the dim green background on the leaf. And now we're going to use our colours, which if I could find them, it would help. So I've got pea green, spring green and light yellow, because I want to keep it tropical, so I want them bright and in your face. So should we start with this? Let's do this little one. So there's a leaf on top there. Let me just sharpen this pencil a little bit. You can tell that I've used these pencils. I love them. They're like permanently on my desk. So I'm going to go round this leaf that's on here with our pea green. And I'm going to bring that down. So I'm going to bring that down into the centre a little bit, bring that out. The same on here. Do it up there. Can you see? Yeah. Looks lovely and bright on camera. It's not so bright, this colour at the minute. I'm going to bring that down lightly into those little spaces, like that. Then I'm going to bring in the gorgeous spring green, going over that. And this will brighten and lift it, and then lessen off as we get towards the edge of the leaf. So I'm lessening the pressure off. Going back over as I go round. And here we go. Into that space. There we are. And then I'm going to go in with that light yellow. It's going to give us that real tropical, vibrant leaves. Okay, light yellow. And I'm going to push into those other colours. There we go. And then I'm just going to go back with my pea green and just fill in any spaces that I didn't get. Like the top of the page, that annoying bit. There. Just so you can see that gradient in greens. Because they blend so beautifully. There we go, do it again. There we are. And we're going to do them all the same. So, we've only got the 3 colours. So I'm going to do this little one down here because my hand's killing. Let's just come in a bit closer. Gosh, it looks really bright on camera. It's not that bright in real life. Well, I suppose it is. Okay, pea green. We're going to go, because it's behind that other leaf, so we're going to bring that down like that. A little bit at the base. Then in with our beautiful spring green. Don't forget to leave that edge for that yellow. And we'll pop that in. There we go. Someone's having fun outside. I wonder if you can hear them. Screaming about. There we go. Alright. Good grief. Okay. So all the leaves are going to be done exactly the same as that with those colours. I'm going to go and finish off our little... Let me come out a minute. I'm going to go and finish off our little angry bird. So these are the colours, just for recap, if you need them. There we go. We used those colours. Just like that. So I'm going to go and finish him off and the leaves off, and then we'll focus on other things like the flowers or whatever. Alright, my lovely friends, I will see you in a second. Okay guys, this is how he's looking so far. Still grumpy and fed up, even if he's adorable colours. So what I've done, as you'll see, I've finished the leaves, but I've gone in with the flowers and I've used that pale yellow, which was 38 with the alcohol marker. It wasn't shut properly, it won't be good, would it? And now we're going to go in and I'm going to do reds and oranges. So let's do his beak first. Let's come in. Okay, here's the colours we've got: scarlet red, cadmium orange, chromium yellow and light yellow. He's not tropical enough, so I'm going to make him even more tropical. Okay, so I'm going to go in at the top with our scarlet red, and I'm going to bring that down around the edges. I'm going to have to do a little bit of fading out to fit these colours in, blend these colours in nicely. Let's get that in. Okay, then I'm going to go in with cadmium orange. I'm going to go over our little blend line. Soften that off. I'm going to straighten that out. I don't want it so rounded. That's rounded enough, I think. Okay, let's deepen that up a bit. And then, alright, I've got to do a really soft line here because our next colour is a bit brighter. So soften that off. And let's go in with chromium yellow. So we're going to do some smushing, which these pencils do, as you can see, really well. And then the tip of his little beak is going to be light yellow. I'm going to pull that down. Okay, right, let's go back in and deepen that up. So, scarlet red. You can be braver once you've put your initial colours down. So, scarlet red. There we go. Cadmium orange. Sorry, my hands are in the way. I'm going to bring that orange down so his tip of his beak doesn't blend in so much with his body. So chromium yellow. I'm just going to pull that down over that. Let's smush that in. Okay, I'm going to go back to our chromium yellow. No, cadmium orange. Yeah, cadmium orange, and just smooth that blend out a little bit more. There we go. Cute, huh? And I did do the bags under his eyes blue because I thought it would tie everything together. We're going to do his legs the same. I know, shocking, but we are. So they had a coat of the pale yellow too. So we're going to put the scarlet red in. Bring that down on that leg. We'll do a little bit at a time because I haven't practiced this. I'm just going in. Then our cadmium orange. Fade that out a little bit. And then our chromium yellow. There we go. Look at those colours smushed together, isn't that incredible? Right, scarlet red. Oh, no, definitely not scarlet red. We'll go round his little toes at the base with our scarlet red. If we put enough of that in, we can drag that through. There we go. He's cute, isn't he? Our cadmium orange. Okay, and then our chromium yellow. Do our smushing. And then just on the top here, we'll stick that pale yellow. We can use that to blend through. Oh, he's so cute. And we're going to do the flowers in this colour combo too. So, I'm going to put a little bit of scarlet red in there. And then we'll bring that chrome in. There we go. Right, let me just take my... Oh, these hot and cold all the time. Drives me mad. It's ladies of a certain age, folks. Ladies of a certain age. It's miserable. Okay, we're going to do the flowers the same. So, I'm going to take it a section at a time. Let me see. Let me pick one that's easy and feels comfortable to do on camera. Let's do this one. Okay, so I'm going to take my scarlet red and I'm going to work up this down this edge. So I'm going to perhaps do it like that, scarlet red. Then we're going to take our cadmium orange. Same combo. But we are definitely going to make room to put that light yellow in at the tip. So I'm going to go back over that with our chromium yellow, and then on the tips of the flowers are light yellow. So I hope you can see that even without the alcohol markers you'd still be able to follow along. And then I'm just going to brighten up that top bit there with that red. Okay, let's do the same here. So I want to try and keep some of the shape of that flower. So let's do that with the scarlet red. I don't want it like uniform. Let's pull that down. Dark round the back there, it can be dark. Down there. I'm just sort of ad-libbing, which is refreshing for me to be able to do on camera. Okay, we're going with our cadmium orange. Let's pull that down there a little bit. Lessen that off. Let's do the same here. Have it a little bit coming down, maybe a little bit further like that. A little bit less this side. That can be dark over there. And then pull it down here. Okay. Let's now go to our cadmium yellow and start the smush process. Oh, the technical terminology you will learn on this channel is unrelatable to anything. It's unreal. Okay. I wanted tropical, and I think we've certainly going to get that. Okay, let's go in with our light yellow. This will help we can backtrack, it will help lighten colours, blend colours. It's very clever. And oranges and yellows were the first colours when I was colouring that I learnt to blend with. They always seem, to me anyway, they always seem to be the softer pencils. The oranges sort of made life easy to blend. So I'm just going back through now and just softening up any harsh lines. I don't want, let's give it a bit of a brush, like there's quite a bit of a harsh line there, so I'm just like softly touching that cadmium orange to the page, and I can go back in with the chromium yellow. So we've got enough pigment there, I like to smush it all in. There we go. A bit more of our light yellow. There we go. And then we'll stick the scarlet red on for that real deep shock of colour at the top there. I really like it. There we go. Bring that down a bit further actually. Just because I like the brightness of it. I don't know quite what's got into me today, folks, with all these brights, but it just called tropical to me, so that's what we're doing. And I felt the need for bright, happy colours. I think I've achieved that. Oh dear. Okay. Chromium yellow. So it's just playing and blending until you're happy. It doesn't come straight away. You sort of have to work it, don't you, until you're pleased with. There we go. Should we do another one together? Should we do this partial one together? Or should we do a big one? Let's do this big one. Stuff it, folks. I say stuff it. Right, let's go in with our beautiful scarlet red. Let's get that in deep and rich already. Going to be brave. Let's bring that down. Okay. So I'm pressing a bit harder, as you can probably see, being a bit braver. And I know I want more of that red this time. I like the brightness of it. So I'm going to fill that side up because it's going to be darker behind there. Okay, then we'll go in with our cadmium orange. Got to lessen that off, haven't we? So that we can blend our next colour easily. Pull that all the way down that side. And let's put a significant amount that side. And then we'll lessen it off. Okay. Then we want chromium yellow. Such good, I love it. It's just, oh. To be able to use bright colours, alcohol markers, whatever you want in this book is just, they're so good. The paper in them is just magnificent. And then we go back in and tidy up and smush. Looks like it's on fire, doesn't it? Amazing. And we get that light yellow in, and it changes that tone. There we go. Right, let's go back in. So fill up that paper with our scarlet red. There we go. Make sure that's nice and deep. And then we're going to take our cadmium orange. And here I'm just going to softly blend that in. And then our chromium yellow. And a little bit of chromium yellow there. And then our light yellow, let's say lemon. There we go. Right, let's come out see. Okay. Just makes me smile just look at him, this is so funny. Right, so that's our tropical flowers. I've got 2 more left to do. I've got to go and do his other foot, and then I'm going to plan the rest of the page because I haven't thought that far ahead. And I will be back and we'll do some more together. See you in a second. Alright you guys, so this is what it looks like. And I don't think it's bright enough yet. It's the next day, it's the evening, it's 7:10, and I thought, just because we don't have enough colour on the page, we're going to focus on the eggs, and we'll do the nest and the tree bark last, I think. We've got the little berries left. So, where to start, where to start? Let me grab my colours. That would be a good starting point, wouldn't it? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to randomly put in 3 colours, and I have got blue, pink and the most shocking green. It's a bit like the leaves but brighter. So we're going to randomly dot them in. Let me come in so you can see these clearer. There we go. So I've got my alcohol marker, which is the same as I was using yesterday, the Denyse ones. Now, if you don't have it, this peach puff is almost a perfect match. Can you see that? So please don't worry about trying to follow along without, if you don't have the alcohol markers. We've got quite a lot of colours, but don't be put off with that, because this is our shadow colour, and mulberry is just going to be our transition into these much lighter colours. So we can do this. It's easy. So we're going to randomly stick them in. So we're going to start with this outside one because it's safe. And I'm going to fill that in with my alcohol marker. Okay. There we go. And what I'm going to do very quickly, so that we're not sitting and waiting, is I'm going to blast it with my heat gun. Otherwise it just takes forever to dry on this beautiful thick paper. And then we can go in with our pencils. There we go. Easy as that. Isn't that a gorgeous colour? There we go. I don't like using the heat gun because it crinkles your page, but when we go back over with paper it will be okay. And I'm only doing it so that I don't have to keep cutting the video. So we're going to take our quinacridone, if I got it right, and that's going to be our shadow colour. So I'm going to pop that in here, around this black edge. Not too much, but I want it to be there, if you get what I mean. So I'm just going to go dark around that, and I've gone over, of course. Hand spasms, very annoying. I'm just going to pop that in, and then I'm going to feather it out like we usually do, and I'm going to try and keep the sort of oval shape of the egg. So that's our first dark colour. Then we're going to go in with mulberry, so I'm going over that colour and bringing it out. We will go back in like we always do, but let's just map out where we want all these colours first. So a little bit of mulberry, or quite a lot of mulberry. And then we're going to go in with the Baker Miller pink, which is a gorgeous colour. I love it. Backtracking, I'm going over the whole thing. We're going to do a lot of that to get this pink in the right tones. So a lot of backtracking. And I'm kind of just sort of leaving this edge as going to be our lighter edge. Okay? Soften that out. Then we're going to go in with, and putting them down so I don't get mixed up. Then we're going to go in with plain old beautiful pink. We're going to put that in. There we go. Backtrack. And then we're going to use that peach puff as our highlight. There we go. And we're going to backtrack. We'll use that as our blender. Right, let's go back in. If we're happy with our shape of the egg and where the highlight is, we can go back in now. So I'm going back in with that dark quinacridone. I have to look at the word. Purpley red it is. It's a very pretty colour. But let's get that really dark. Don't forget our softer edge. There we go. And then our mulberry. I haven't had much chance to chat to you about life updates and things that have been quite challenging while we've been doing this, but I suppose I could. Now we're just remapping, going back over. So my husband went away on this is just part of it really, it's just been one thing after another. My husband went away on my son's stag do. They went to Magaluf, I do believe, if I'm correct. You know what my brain's like. For a stag do weekend. So they went on the Thursday and he came home last night, which is now Tuesday. So he came home Monday night. And as usual, sort of carried on, going to work, doing your thing. And I got up Thursday and I thought, oh, do you know what? My fridge is not very cold. You're gonna see where this story's going. Fridge is not very cold. I'll turn it up a little bit. Butter's a bit gooey. And never thought anything of it because that's how my brain is. I'm so busy thinking ahead of what I've got to do, and I'm planning in between being exhausted all the time, which is just horrible, but that's life. So it never even occurred to me. I'm so dim sometimes. It's so frustrating. So anyway, you made my cheese sandwiches to take to work, like you do. Good girl, go to work. Thinking, I'll turn the fridge up. It's not doing so well. And then came home Friday to a puddle on the floor. So we'd been shopping so that I didn't have to go out after work and stuff without my husband here, because of obviously being tired. We have to do all these things to plan ahead. The fridge freezer had completely packed up. I mean, completely. I'd lost all my food, everything. The milk, all my fresh stuff, all my frozen stuff, the whole thing was gone. I mean, because I hadn't registered quick enough that the fridge had packed up, everything had defrosted. It was an utter nightmare. So I was like, well, what am I going to do? I don't have the funds to buy a new fridge freezer. So I'm just blending with this peach puff through the whole thing. So I had to, which is tragic, but I had to take some money out of our wedding fund that we've been saving for my son's wedding, to be able to order a new fridge freezer. And then thankfully I was going to stay with my eldest son, who didn't go because we've got our baby grandson who's autistic, so he didn't go on the stag do, he stayed at home. I went and stayed with him on the Saturday night, and then for the love of Argos, they delivered a new fridge freezer at 7:05 in the morning on the Sunday. So that was that. Oh, it was honestly, so I had nothing. I was living on like noodles until I obviously went to my eldest son's. So there's our pink egg. Now, just to pep it up a little bit more, there are some speckles on these eggs, and I've got a blue Posca. This is light blue. And I am going to use the light blue to put those speckles in. I might even add just a few more. Who knows? There we go. So we've got our pink one done. we are now going to do a blue one. So I've got these colours, and I'm going to, let's just, I don't know, because I'm going to put them in random colours. I was going to do like lines of them, but like all those pink, all these blue, and then the green colour that I'm going to use. But I think probably if I just randomise it, it'll look better. So this is Pale Blue Light. We've used this before if you've got it. And do check your alcohol markers. Don't worry if you don't have them, because we're going to use that pastel blue, which is just as good a match. Yeah, do check your alcohol markers. Check your name and numbers. I bet you your Amazon cheap ones that we buy off Amazon, they're all the same. I've got this feeling. Most of them are anyway. I know a Who aren't. They're their own colours, and as are Artex, their own colours. Bring out the heat gun. Okay, it does warp the page, but it will lay flat, and I won't be doing this when I'm not filming. It will lay flat after I've coloured on it. So, we've done our alcohol marker base, or if you don't have it, doesn't matter. We've just got, let me just check that is dry. We've got 3 colours from the Artex range. So we've got Pigeon Blue, which is going to be our shadow, Cornflower Blue, and we've got Pastel Blue. That looks very bright. Did I pick? Yeah, I did pick up the... Yeah, I did pick up the right colour. Okay, stop waffling, Lucy. Let's go in. So, Pigeon Blue, that's going to be our shadow. So we're going to pop that in. And I'm going to do a chalk cloud background. So, let's get that in there. Okay, let's feather it out, soften it. Okay, right, now we're going in with the incredibly beautiful Cornflower Blue. I love this colour. Okay, so same as we did before, I'm just going to kind of backtrack over that shadow colour so the two merge nicely. I'm just going to lightly go in with where I want that colour, like that. Okay. And now I'm deepening it up. So that was that. Then I had the fridge freezer. Then I had a doctor's appointment. Oh my God. Was diagnosed with a skin condition that I'm not going to go into, but yeah, it's not easy to talk about. But anyway, diagnosed with a skin condition. It won't affect the channel or anything like that, but just not nice, really not nice, and may need, it's like an autoimmune disease and may need hospital visits and biopsies and all sorts. So that was not nice. And while I was there, she tested my blood pressure, and my blood pressure is sky high. So I now have to monitor my blood pressure over the next 10 days, I think it is. I think it's 10 days. I've got an appointment with her on the 2nd of May to review that. So it just, oh my God. And this was all like, while my husband was away. So that happened. My car's naffed up. What else happened? My dad was in hospital again with angina. He had an angina attack. So I'm sorry, I'm now blending with that pastel blue, and then we can go back in if we need to. So every time I sat to do my video of the beautiful gifts that I'd been sent, something happened, and yeah, and sometimes you just have to stop. I couldn't. I just felt like I was drowning. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I fight back. There's no way. that life is going to stop me doing what I want to do. So there we go. Anyway, so that is when I did my little haul video of all the beautiful gifts and my finger slips on Amazon. That's what had been going on, and it just, yeah, not pleasant. So, but I'm back and fighting, ready to take on whatever and colour my way through all these gorgeous presents that I've had. Okay, now we've got a blue egg, so we're going to stick pink on. What colour is this? This is just Posca Pink. So that's going to have pink speckles, of course. We'll just chuck a few more in, why not? Sort of accentuate that curve. There. I love it. How cool is that? Okay, so that's our blue egg. Now we're going to have a... Oh, maybe not. Yeah, we are. Now we're going to have this incredibly toxic green egg. And I'm going to put that in the centre here. So, I've got my pale yellow marker that we already used. But again, don't worry, because you could use the light yellow pencil if you don't have this. If you want that. I'm going to colour over it, but it just help with that tone. But you could, when you've put your colours down, you could go over with your pale yellow that we've been using in the picture that we used up here, and it will give you the same appearance. Okay, I'm going to get that dratted heat gun out. Hold your ears. Oops, what was that? Oh, it was my marker. Okay, yeah, so the fridge freezer stopped me, so I couldn't get my chair again. Never mind. Right, so, dry, it's very hot. There we go. Alright, so I've got True Green, Lime Green and Chartreuse. These two are quite similar. But if you go in and when we deepen up, that will really show up. So we're going to put in our shadow, and that is going to be round the bottom here with our True Green, and I'm going to bring it up round the edge to kind of keep that sort of oval shape. So that's going to be our darkest, so that will hopefully, when we bring in the other colour, keep the oval shape of the egg. There we go. Keep that even on both sides, and then we're going to go in with the beautiful, beautiful lime green. Doesn't look very lime, the pencil, does it? But the colour is. Okay, let's go in with that. And again, we're going to backtrack. So you can see what I mean about them being very similar to start with. But when we put, when we go back over, it will become apparent the two different colours. Okay, so I'm going to bring that up a little bit and leave that kind of moon shape at the top there for our chartreuse. And we're going to squish that in. Okay, now we're going to backtrack. So we're going to take our True Green and really deepen that up. This is a really vibrant egg, so I don't know how many of these I put in. I was wondering if I could do it like a sort of a cuckoo's nest, where there's just been one chucked in there. Maybe, I don't know. It might be quite nice to continue this theme of tropical vibrancy throughout the page. It makes those look relatively normal, doesn't it, this bright one? Okay, and then our lime green. And as you can see, I've got like a wedge line there. I don't want that, so what I'm going to do is I'm lightly going over this, because I'm going to go over with my chartreuse then as a blend, so it's going to pep it up even more. So I'm just softly going up there into that chartreuse. Okay, let's take our chartreuse and let's start blending and smushing. There we go. And again, I've still got a line, so I'll go back in. With our lime green. Even more softly, let's get rid of that. There we go. And if we go back in and blend with our chartreuse and kind of keep that in the centre, that'll lift that colour even more and show up our true green, which we're going to go back in. There we go. I'm going to go back in with my true green. And really get that edge of that going. How do you think? What do you think, folks? So, I'm going to take yellow, I think. Well, which one of these is the brightest? I can't remember. We've got yellow and we've got straw yellow. One's bright and one's not so bright. Let's do... Okay, we're going to have yellow and we're also going to have beige. So I've got yellow and beige. And that's the dots that I'm going to do on this green egg. Let's put some beige in. I don't really want white on there, I think it will look too stark, but a bit of beige will go well with that yellow. There we are. Okay, so we've got all three colours of eggs. There, I'll just give you a shot of all of those if I come out a little bit so you can see. All three colours of eggs with my Posca dottage. Okay, let's have a whole shot of the picture. So, I'm going to randomly drop those in. I think I'll come blue-pink this side and then randomise the rest. I don't know. But I will go off and do that and then we can come back and hopefully my page will flatten out. I don't have to put any more heat on it, and we will meet back up when I've done the eggs. You can see the order I've done it in and do that yourself if you choose, or pep it up yourself, whichever way you want to go. And then I've got a plan for the nest and the tree. The background I'm going to make, I've got a cloud stencil and we're going to use chalk pastel and we're going to get, I'm thinking sort of, I don't know, peach and pink background. Tropicalise it even more. Alright folks, I'll see you in a second. Hey you lovely lot. So it's 2 days later, it's Thursday, I've just finished work and I thought I'd come back, we'd get this page done together. So we've got our little berries to consider. It's still not bright enough folks. We're going to do normal nest colours and tree colours and we're going to use my cloud stencil to do pastels in the background. So, if I bring you in and we just focus on a berry, it's very simple. Here's the colours. A little tiny bit of black. I picked the wrong pencils up, of course. A little tiny bit of black, magenta and scarlet. And they're going to be red, of course. So, I'm going to go in with magenta. And I'm going to bring that up at the bottom, or round at the bottom, should I say. And at the side. And just fade it out a little bit. And then I'm going to go over with the gorgeous scarlet. So I haven't used alcohol markers for these because they're tiny and it's not going to make my hand hurt too much. There we go. Right, now, tiny bit of black. We're just going to really deepen up this red. Now you could use another colour, but You could use brown, or greys, but I like the look of when you smush that black in with that magenta. You get a really nice deep red, like that. And then we'll go back over with our scarlet, and we get this amazing contrast where we want that a bit darker. So let's do another one. So we're going to do around here, we're going to put the magenta in. If I put that there, and then I don't have to hold it. So we're going to put the magenta in. Nice and simples. And then our scarlet. I feel all bouncy today. I've been like, finished work at 11, but I've been all hyper at work as well. I don't know what is going on with me. I'm not complaining. It's a brilliant difference between coming home being knackered, so I'm just loving it. So a little bit of black where we want that shadow, and then back in with our magenta, smush that in, and you just get that really nice, it gives it sort of shape to the berry, if you get what I mean. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about, I just like it. Move that mat over. So I need a little bit more there. That's where that mat was, it given me a line. Let's get rid of that. There we go. We can do a little bit more on this berry. If you do it really lightly, because you don't want black, you just want that red to be able to sort of smush in with it. You get that really nice sort of deep contrast. Okay, that's how we're going to do berries. Now, we've got to go and look at this nest now. So if we pick one section, come with me for the ride, folks. I need to try and get it comfortable. There we go. Oh, ooh. This bit we're going to do in our greens. Where are our greens? Here, these are the greens that I've chosen. Chromium oxide green and pea green and pale green. But in the interim, let's do this little section here. This looks cool. So I'm going to use my warm grey 2 on my markers. You don't need to do it if you don't want to. I'm just doing it just for ease of my hands. The colours that I've got will go perfectly well without it, so don't panic. So these are probably going to be the only sensible colours on the page. The nest and the tree bark. The rest of it is crazy in your face tropical colours, which I'm loving. Here we go. Okay, let's give that a second or two to dry, and we'll go back to our greens. It's got a kind of green hue, I don't even know if you can see that, but it will dry warm grey. Okay, our greens, not those. These ones. So we've got chromium green oxide, pea green and pale green. So on these little strands that kind of wrap up the nest, I'm going in with my chromium green. Yes, I'm in shot. The colour, yeah, you can see the colours too. Chromium green at the base, and bring that up a little bit. And around the top here, bring that down a little bit. Then we're going to go in with our pea green, which is nice and bright. Blend those two, bit of smushing, blending. And then just to lighten it up in the centre, a little bit of pale green. And that will really enhance that pea green. So we can just go back in, deepen up anywhere we want. There we go. Just looks like they've picked out a little bit of like jungle vines to tie their nest together. Alright, now the colours we're using to go, that's still wet. Bring out the heat gun. Watch your ears, folks. If you haven't coloured in Denyse Klette's books yet, you haven't had any of the other ones, the paper is really thick, so if you do use markers you're going to have to, and you want to colour over it, if you don't want to use your heat gun because it curls the page. It will flatten when you put pencil on it, but you need to give time for it to dry because the paper's so thick and lovely. Okay, I'm going to come out just slightly. There we go. So you can see the colours. So what we're going to do is mix this up. We're going to have some of these strands in this combination and some strands in this combination, and then I might throw a little bit of some of the green in too, just so it's not so flat and dead. So we are going to take burnt ochre. Let's pick a strand, this one, and what I'm going to do is come in on each edge of the piece of straw or whatever it is they've found to use, sticks, and do the edge in that. Then we're going to go dark salmon, which is a really cool colour, and bring that in a little bit like that. And then we're taking camel. I love this colour for it's very subtle, very beautiful colour, and it'd be nice for skin tones too. There we go. And then we're just going to go back in and make sure we've got that dark enough. Excuse me. Dark salmon. Just a bit more interest than just brown, because I'm going to do brown bark, so I don't want this to be all blended in with my tree. So that's one combo, and then the other combo is antique grass, brass even, not grass, and Bavarian cream. This is a really pretty combo. So because we've done that one there, let's do this one. So I'm going to do the edge, and this is how I'm going to do each strand. Take a bit of time, but it will be worth it. And obviously if there's ones that cross over, like this one crosses into that bit of nest there, I will carry on that but do it exactly the same. Does that make sense? That same colour combo. And then pull in the Bavarian cream. It's a very light colour, so you're going to have to, well, I am going to have to go back in and sort of just soften that off so they blend through together. But this antique brass colour is a really pretty tone, pretty addition to your browns if you want something a little different. There we go. Now, what we can do is, let's just add, for a little bit of interest, let's add a green in this tiny little bit here. Let's add some of that chromium oxide green in there. And then a little bit of the pea green. Did that wrong. Chromium oxide here. And pea green. Just random spots. I'm not going to put it all over the place. Just a little bit of green, like sort of woven in there. And then, because that looks like it's following through underneath here, I will put a little bit of that chromium oxide green there too. Just so we look like we've got grass strands or vines woven through. So let's just do another one really quickly. Let's do another of the first combo, which is burnt ochre, dark salmon and camel. So let's do this lovely long strand in this. So burnt ochre here, and that is going to follow on. Can you see? That is like all one piece. So if we establish the first bit here, it'll be easier. We can just follow on then with the colours that we're using, so it makes life a bit easier. And then our dark salmon, and then get that gorgeous camel and pull those through. We can go back in and deepen that up. That way you can see the difference in colours. And we look very clever with our blending. There we go. There we are. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do, is those colours. So I am going to undertake the mammoth task of doing our nest, the vines. These bits that overlap are going to be in that green. If there's any tiny little thin spaces, I'll pop some green in. But other than that, it's going to be those two combos, and I think it's going to look really cool. So we needed to tone it down slightly. I needed some normality on the page. We've got bright red berries, orange flowers, in your face colours for this. So, and then the background, I think I'm going to do a very soft, maybe orange and pink, very soft though, in clouds. So it's going to look cool. Alright folks, so the next time I'm back, the nest will be complete and the berries, and we will do the tree together and then finishing touches. See you in a... Okay folks, here he is. Finished the nest. I'm really pleased with how it came out actually. Just that little bit of green kind of lifts it. So I'm going to take the blue that we used earlier, which is the cornflower blue, and I'm just going to put a little bit in those eyes. So I'm going to have the darkest of the cornflower blue. Ooh. Darkest of the cornflower blue at the top. Just so that we've got that mid-tone in there. And then just let it wash away. There we go. So he's got a little bit of colour in those eyes. There. Right. We need to address this. Oh, I hope you could see all that. I'm going to have to move you out a bit. We need to address this bark. Now I want it really dark so that it stands out away from the nest. So I've got these colours. Black, Van Dyke brown, dark brown and light umber. So what we're going to do is leave the black till last. Let me get you in a position so that I can bring you in a bit closer. That's a bit too far away. There you go. We're going to go in with our Van Dyke brown to start with. And I'm going to put that around the edge of this. I want it dark there. Move my little mat over. I'm going to go over that little bit sticking out. And I'm going to bring that down to the bottom where that line is. Then I'm going to go in with a dark brown. Just checking I've got the right colours. I do. Dark brown. This is a more of a chocolatey tone. Bring that out. And then our light umber for the edge here. Now they'll look fairly similar until we get that black on. So I'm now going to put a little bit of black around the nest. And then I'll go back over and bring it out where the black lines are to indicate the texture on the bark. Then I'm going to go back over with a Van Dyke brown. And then dark brown. And then our light umber. And I'm going to kind of do each strip like that really, I think. I'm going to try not to obliterate all the little twigs sticking out. I'm waiting on a telephone call from my husband. My husband is down at minor injuries unit. You wouldn't believe it, folks. Honestly, the stuff that we've had going on is just one thing after another. I was telling you earlier in the video, or earlier in the week for me, that my blood pressure was high, so I had to have a monitoring unit for this week to see what's going on with it. Sorry, light umber. And so we tested my husband's blood pressure, and his is like dangerously high. So he won't let me go with him. He's one of those. I had to pester him to go down there. His blood pressure was... the last reading, the lowest reading we had was 193 over 113. So I had to read from the NHS website why that is so dangerous and what can happen if you don't get it treated. So he's gone off down, right now he's down at minor injuries. So I can't sit and do nothing while I'm worrying. So I thought I would come on and we would finish this together. And I can just have a little bit of a rant with you guys, because you always listen so well to me. It's just scary stuff. I mean, when are we going to get a break, folks, you know? I mean, I've gone straight in with black, which I wasn't going to do, but never mind. Yeah, it's just one thing after another. Gets you down. So, I say, keep colouring Takes your mind off things, keeps your hands busy, so I'm not savaging my fingernails like usual. So I'm waiting for him to call me. He has been seen, but he's waiting on another doctor to come. It's like our, you know, our walk-in centre where you can just get minor injuries checked, but if I'd have insisted on anything more, he'd have just got shirty with me. You know what men do? I'm not saying all men, but my man does, gets shirty with me and says, alright, not doing it. So that's where I am at the minute. It's just, oh, I was just saying to you earlier, I am going to go in with the blacks. I don't think it makes much difference. I was just saying to you earlier, I felt all bouncy and full of energy. And then, yeah, just another kick to the guts, folks. I mean, come on. Anyway, enough about that. You come on here to relieve your worries. You don't need to listen to mine. So, there we go. Tree bark. And that's how I'm going to do it. So it will just, so it just really dark around the nest and then just lessen off. Right, the other thing I want to show you is, oh, I did the claws in the same colour as the nest, the antique brass and the Barovian cream, with everything going on. I thought I'd press record. It's really easy on this little camera to think you're recording. I'm just checking now, I'm panicking. To think you're recording and you're not, so I do apologise. So we're going to put some greens in on these stalks. I'm going to use the greens that we used for the vines because I think that'll look pretty cool and tie things together. So I'm going in with chromium oxide green. We can come in a bit closer now. There we go. And these, where these dots are, that's going to be where I put the chromium oxide green. Then I'm going to switch to a pea green. And pale green. There we go. And we'll do all these teeny tiny leaves. So I'm going to do chromium oxide at the top because it's too little to get it all in. Just where I can. And then where I can, I'll squish in a little bit of that pea green on the top of these little berries. There we go, like that. And then up the stem, because this side's darkest, I will do chromium green, chromium oxide green even. Like that. And in there, because that's going to be dark. Then switch to our pea green. And it should stand out because we've got that lemony edge on our leaves, so they should just look a little different. There we go. Like that. I think that'll look really cool. Alright folks, so let's come back in shot. My little angry bird. Here we go. I'm going to go off and do the bark around the tree, finish those green bits, and then we're going to come back in with my cloud stencil, which I've cut. I'll show you, but I've cut it out from a die, the one I always use, but I've actually cut it out, and we're going to put a nice sort of pastel-y orange, I think, maybe, orange and yellow background to fit with our tropical theme. Alright lovelies, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, touching distance. Finished the log or the branch of the tree. Now, I've used this loads of times on the channel. This is a cutting die that I got from Amazon. If you just put cloud die in or cloud stencil, they will come up. Now, however, they were quite cheap, and I brought some acetate, some fairly thin actually acetate. I was going to cut it out so I could keep it permanently. But it wouldn't cut through it, and I have the little Sizex die cutter. It wouldn't work, so I just took a piece of paper, quite simple, and put it through my little machine. But you could make one of these really simple. I'm going to use my beautiful Artex soft pastels, and I'm going to go, I think, maybe oranges and pinks. So this is how they come. I have done a review on the channel of these, and they do have colour numbers. So I'm going to use this one, which is S230, and I'm going to use, I don't want too bright, so maybe this one, S212. I'll turn that one over. I don't want to wear the numbers out, I want to keep them if we're going to be using them on the channel. Let's try those first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got a little bit of cotton wool, and I am going to just rub on the back of it rather than scraping it off. I might have to scrape it off if I don't get enough pigment, but these are really good. So we'll try that. It's not working. No, I didn't want to have to go in with a craft knife because you know what I'm like. Anyway, right, so I've got a little plate here, and I've got my craft knife. So I'm going to take that to S230, and I am going to do some scraping. I don't think I showed this way of doing it on the channel. I can't remember when I was reviewing them. Anyway, so I'm going to get a lot of that pigment on my cotton wool, like that. And then I'm going to take my cloud stencil, and I think we'll have this big cloud at the bottom, and I'm going to put that in. And I'm going to pull that pigment up. A wonderful thing about this is if you're not happy, you get that eraser out and it's gone. Okay, there's that. And blow that off, and then we'll follow it over this side. And also, it's nice to have a paper one because it's flexible, so you can put it round into the spine of the book and things. So we've got the orange. Okay, they are really pigmented. I'm just going to put a little bit at the bottom in there. I'm going to change my cotton wool pad, and we're going to get a different colour. So I've got lots and lots of that chalk left there, but that's okay. Right, let's get a different colour. Let's go in with, do you know what, maybe we will go in with this bright yellow after all. S101. So if you haven't got these colours, it doesn't matter. Any chalks. I'm going to scrape that off. Try not to be so wasteful this time. Okay, let's go in with this shape again. I quite like this. Let's do about here. We can start pushing that blend through. Let's get enough of that yellow pigment, and we'll push that in. She says she's going to try not to be so wasteful this time, but then I haven't put enough on now. Never mind. Alright, let's move that. It's not coming out as well as I would have liked that definition. So I'm going to place it back on. I'm going to get some more chalk. Plenty this time. Squash down my stencil. There we go. That should help. And if not, I can go around with my eraser and get that shape in. Let's just pull that up a little bit. That's what I'll do. I'll go in with my eraser. I'll show you that in a second. We want some yellow over here. Let's move that one. Let's do a big beefy yellow one over here. Get some more pigment. That doesn't help, that I'm not holding it down properly. You could do this with gel crayons, would work just as well. Okay, that's a better one. Let me show you. Right, I'm going to go around here, I want a more defined cloud line, so I'm going around the edge with my eraser. And just get some cloud lines in there. Let's erase this bit. There we go. And we'll do the same here, following that cloud shape. Bear with me, folks, it'll work, trust me. Right, we'll go back with our orange and put that in. And then we'll take our cloud stencil again, and I'm going to erase this bit. Okay, and then I'm going to clean this bit up. Yeah. Clean that bit up, and I'm going to do the same on this one. I just want that definition, and it's because it's a piece of paper and it's not worked. I might just have to draw round the acetate with some permanent pen and then cut it out. That'll probably work better. Right, let's get rid of all this. Make that white. How's that? Is that any better? There we go. We've got a little bit of definition there, which is a bit better. Okay, what do we want now? Now, let's have a look, see what other colours I've got in this little set. I might just have a bit of pink. So this one is, not very clear, S225. It's a sort of a salmony pink. So I've scraped some on my plate. Here, dropping everything. And what I'm going to do is take a tiny bit, a clean bit of cotton wool, and I'm going to just dab that pink in. Particularly over this bit here. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is take that acetate and I'll draw around that dye and cut it out. So I've got a more permanent one for another time. But I want to get this video up to you tonight in case, God forbid, things aren't good. Then at least I know I've reached out and I've connected with you guys. A little bit of pink. So we've pulled in the colours from the page, at least. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to try, because I'm just not happy. Come on. A bit of pigment there. What I'm going to try is this. Hang on. Right, I'm going to take the original dye. This is the original dye. And I'm going to try erasing around that. Let me get a new eraser. Oh, no. Pull out my eraser. Now, for goodness sake, if you do this, before you use it on a new page, make sure you've erased the... let's come in a bit closer. Make sure you've cleaned it on a piece of paper, otherwise you'll have chalk all over your pages. Right, now let's try that. See if I can get that distinct line in that I want. Still not working very well, I don't know why. Might have to just say that's as it is. We'll get there. Alright, that's a bit better. See, this side's come out nicely, but we will define that a little bit more. It does help as well if you haven't got shaky hands. So I have to go back in with my orange chalk bit. It's all good fun, folks. I'm just playing, as you can see. See, I give up. Give up, folks. I give up. Maybe just slow down. There we go. That's better. Alright. No major fluff ups here. Okay, that's where it was. Let's move my pencils out the way. It's fiddly, I know, but if I'd have done it properly and thought about it and cut out the acetate instead, it would have probably worked incredibly well. Well, it would have done. I think it's because I'm a bit agitated, as you can imagine. There we go. There we are. And we'll do this bit up here. Let me turn that round. No. I'm going to do this bit here. Right, nice and slow, Lucy. Take your time. There's no rush. Okay. And I'm gonna erase that. I've done this a million times, so I don't know why it's not working, but like I say, it's probably just, you'll have to bear with me, it's probably just a little bit of agitation with the situation. Okay, so I'm just going to dab my pink back in there and avoid that line that I've just erased. There we go. And we'll do a little bit there and in there. There. I'm not going to faff, folks, because I will ruin it. I am thrilled with this page and I'm thrilled with this book. I love it. So just before I go off, I'm going to show you this is what I use, the Frisk Pastel Fixative. I won't spray it now. I will need to take it outside because I'm coughing and spluttering. I don't want to make my chest any worse. I will give it a couple of sprays and that will fix the cloud background. So, we have completed another page in another book. We're going to be working through all my beautiful gifts and I'm going to be doing colour with me's in them because I figure if people are lovely enough to send me these gifts, then I should be lovely enough to take the time to colour them and share them with you. So I hope you've enjoyed it, my beautiful, bright, tropical bird page. I'm not going to mess with him. I don't think I'm going to glitter him up. I think I'm just going to leave him as is and enjoy. Oh no, I tell you what I wanted to do before I go. And oh, how could I forget? They need Posca dots. So, he needs pink dots on his tail to match the eggs. How could I forget? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not with it, am I? Maybe I should have not finished filming tonight, but I just felt I should and, yeah, shut up, Lucy. Okay. It keeps me busy, folks. It's like I say, a big part of my life and something I turn to very much when I'm stressed. Okay, now for that green one, we'll put the yellow dots in. And for the yellow one, we'll put blue dots in. And then we are definitely finished. There we go. Where's my blue one? Oh, you should see my desk, folks. Holy moly. Right. Blue Posca. I can see green, I don't want green. Blue is right in front of me, look. Blue Posca. Well, there we go. And he can have blue dots on his yellow. I'll tell you what would be nice is to be able to have a steady enough hand to go round those feathers coming out of his head, but I don't, so I'm not going to mess. But you could. Alright, let me brush off all the eraser marks. There we go. Now he's done and he's proud and dotty. There we go, folks. So thank you for spending this time with me, and I hope you enjoy the page as much as I have. I love this book. It's incredible. Oops, get out of my way. And I will, God willing, be back very shortly, and we'll do another book from the beautiful gifts that I've had. So I will get off because I'm rambling and I don't want to. So I will speak to you very soon. So until my next video, take really good care of yourselves, my lovely friends. I'll see you very soon. Night night.